Hello everyone, Jeff the Green Reviewer here. A good soil for growing, thriving plants is alive with millions of actinomycetes, bacteria, fungi, mycorrhizae, and protozoans. They may be ectophytic, living on plant roots, but causing no disease, endophytic, living in plant roots and causing no disease, pathogenic, causing disease, or saprophytic, decaying organic matter. The ectophytic and endophytic organisms may or may not be symbiotic, where they provide a benefit to the plant and receive a benefit in return. Soil is often viewed from the viewpoint of minerals and pore space, as though it were not alive. But the difference between good, thriving soil and barely surviving soil for plants is the living ecosystem growing within the minerals and pores. There are many millions of microscopic organisms in every teaspoon of thriving soil. There are also insects, worms, roly-polies, and other organisms. Thriving soil grows plants without fertilizers or other human input. Nutrients, air, and water are all easily available for all of the inhabitants of thriving soil. Barely surviving soil will only have a few very tolerant organisms, such as a few worms, and the roots of tough weeds. Many urban soils under lawns that are heavily laden with chemicals, and large areas of modern farm cropland are barely surviving soils that have difficulty growing plants without large amounts of fertilizer and weed control. When thriving soil is scraped off the surface to create a new subdivision, shopping center, or mining area, it is usually piled into tall, steeply sloped mounds, heavily compacted by the tractors that carry the soil to the mounds, and sometimes the topsoil and subsoil are sold to other developments, and new topsoil is brought in at the end of the development process. Other times the soil is spread back over the land to try to remediate the effects of mining or whatever was done to the land. In either case, the soil is no longer alive. When the soil is stored in those piles at the edge of a development, the compacted minerals are all that is left. The air, water, and living organisms are all eliminated, thus killing the soil. When minerals are all that is left, the soil will support some weed plants if the air and water are available. Very often weeds are the indicator of a barely surviving soil on life support. When dead soil is spread over the landscape, weed seeds sprout because they're capable of surviving in poor soil. They help prevent the soil from being sterilized by UV radiation from the sun. Just because a soil can grow weeds doesn't mean it's a healthy soil. The best solution to turn a poor soil into a thriving soil is the addition of composted organic matter, such as manure. The live organisms in the compost will start the ecosystem, allowing other organisms to find suitable habitat. There's a lot of different things that grow underground, including several worldwide species of Dutchman's pipe. It's an herbaceous perennial that has no chlorophyll. It lives entirely underground except to flower. Researchers are uncertain if it lives connected to plant roots or connected just to the mycorrhizae fungi growing outside of the roots of trees. It may be endophytic or saprophytic on pine or spruce tree roots, or it may be parasitic on mycorrhizae fungi that are growing on those tree roots. Forest trees are connected by mycorrhizal fungi. The fungi live symbiotically with the roots of trees. The forest trees grow in a survive or slow death range without them because they have poor access to the minerals in the soil. The fungi can't grow without the trees because they have no chlorophyll and can't manufacture sugars. Research shows that nutrients are passed by the mycorrhizal fungi between different species of trees over large areas. The fungi actually help distribute food among the forest trees so they all benefit at the right time. Messages about herbivores are also being sent. If a tree is attacked by insects or mice, it produces alkaloid chemicals to help stop the feeding. Some of these chemicals are released into the air, but some also travel into the roots, where they're transferred to other trees by the mycorrhizal fungi. This benefits the other trees, but it also helps the fungi because it depends on healthy trees to stay alive. So what's this mean to me? Are your garden and lawn soils thriving, biological soils, or are they chemically dependent dead soils? Good soil is alive. Dead soil is dirt. To keep your soil alive, add organic matter and use fewer pesticides and less inorganic fertilizer. Maybe the most important group that needs to be protected or returned to create living soil or thriving soil are the mycorrhizal fungi. They're beneficial fungi that grow on or in plant roots. They provide and store nutrients for the plants and protect plants from disease organisms. The plants provide sugars to the mycorrhiza. Almost every plant species studied has different mycorrhiza specific to that plant, or at least ones that they depend on. Potting soil is often sterile and may need mycorrhiza added to benefit the plant. Inorganic fertilizers, fungicides, and other pesticides tend to harm mycorrhiza, thus moving a soil down from the thrive to survive range. Organic matter helps mycorrhiza, moving the soil from survive to thrive. Actinomycetes are classified as bacteria that look like fungi with long, complex cells. They're also found in soil and water, including human mouths. In the soil, many form symbiotic relationships with plant roots. Some forms cause diseases, some are used in compost piles, some produce beneficial antibiotics and other useful chemicals, such as antibacterials, antifungals, antivirals, anti-tumor drugs, insecticides, herbicides, and fungicides. And here's an interesting fact. The thinnest hygroscopic film of water on soil particles does not completely freeze. Bacteria thrive and are active in this layer of water even during the wintertime. And this is Jeff with the Green Review. Thanks for watching.